Welcome to another episode of Unscripted with The King. So one of my favorite programs on TV is a series by Jerry Seinfeld called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Very simple concept. This guy loves cars, so every episode he picks up a nice classic car, calls up one of his fellow comedians, picks them up, they go for coffee, they have a chat, they have a laugh, and that's basically it. So on this one episode, one of my favorite episodes, it features Leno, who's another big car collector, but a very funny guy, talk show host. And during the show, they start to talk about those moments when they felt like their careers were a flop, or that one show they did that felt like a flop. So Jay Leno talks about this one time in Las Vegas when he was given an audience at I think it was called the Playboy Club, and he knows he's a funny guy, and he has this like show for 30 minutes, right? So he's a stand-up comedian. 30 minutes in, gets to the end of the show, he realizes he didn't get a single laugh from the audience. Now, if you're a comedian, your job is to make people laugh. So when you've been telling jokes for 30 minutes straight and nobody is laughing, that's a problem, So these guys are telling him, we are rating you because you getting invited back to this club depends on how high your rating is. And right now your rating was terrible, so we don't see you coming back. So he's like, wait, but what happened? There's no way that I was on stage for 30 minutes and nobody laughed. And they tell him, say, sorry, that audience was Spanish. So obviously now the guy is angry because like, how do you give me a Spanish audience? I don't know a single word in Spanish. But anyway, lesson from there, right, is that there was nothing wrong with him. As a comedian, he had some good jokes, he had some good ideas, he had some nice punchlines, but he was talking to an audience that did not understand a word he was saying. And it just got me thinking about how often, if we are not careful, we'll perform for a wrong audience. And that just kills us, and that just damages our self-esteem, and that affects our confidence. And the truth is, every performer has their own audience. We talk about this in sales a lot, how every product has got its own buyer. No matter how good you are as a salesperson, no matter how beautiful your product is, there are just some people that will never buy because they are not the target market. Now, when you start to look at whatever it is that you're doing in your life right now, pay a lot of attention to the audience that you're performing for, because your success, your growth, depend on these things. And if you pay a lot of attention to the kind of people that you keep around you, the people that you build your products for, the people that you are building your brand for, they should be the people that actually understand what you're trying to do. They should be the people that genuinely want to support you going forward. And I see so many times people end up so frustrated in their jobs, end up so frustrated in their business because they just don't understand the kind of audience they're dealing with, the kind of support structure that they need around them. And if you're not careful, people around you will begin to make you feel like it's your problem when it's actually not. So there's nothing wrong with sometimes just taking a moment to stop and say, you know what, before I carry on, let me just check that I'm performing for the right audience. Begin to ask people the right questions around you. See if people actually understand what you're trying to build. And if they don't understand, are they the kind of people that you can talk to and help them understand what you're trying to do to get them on your side? If not, it's time to move on. There's nothing wrong with that. But imagine spending so much time performing for a wrong audience when you could have figured it out or asked a few questions right at the beginning. And someone once asked me, say, then what causes people to end up in such situations? A big part of it is that it's normal. Okay, we are human, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we assume that everybody around us is in it for the same reasons that we are in it for, and maybe that's where the mistake is. Stop assuming that everybody around you is there for you and understands what you're trying to do, and get good at asking a lot of questions before you get started, so that you understand the people around you, your audience a little bit better. Again, bringing it back to the example of sales, it's mostly folly that you carry on just pitching an idea to a client or to customers without understanding their current situation, without asking them what exactly they are looking for, without asking them why they are looking for whatever they are looking for. The more answers you get from the audience, the more interaction you get from the audience, the easier it becomes for you to build a brand for them, for you to actually build a product that is going to serve them. Because in the end, who are you doing it for? You're doing it for them, right? But most importantly, make sure it's the right audience that you are serving. I don't know how this relates to whatever it is you're going through in your life. This chat is all about my unscripted thoughts, my rough drafts. Okay, I find a lot of beauty in that. So I hope somehow you found some sense in it. Catch you again on the flip side. This was Unscripted with the King.